Hello, third graders. So today our learning target is I can identify the area of an irregular figure. Your success criteria is I can identify the area of an irregular figure and I can communicate the expression that shows how I identified the area of the irregular figure. So for example, we have this word problem. Lee is remodeling her kitchen. She plans, and remodeling means that they're trying to make their kitchen look more presentable, I guess, like make it better. She plans to cover the kitchen floor with tiles, and tiles are those squares. For example, in the cafeteria of our school, when you're walking around the cafeteria, there's not carpet on the ground, there are tiles in the ground. So she plans to cover the kitchen floor with tiles, like what's in the cafeteria, but probably prettier, that are each 1 square foot. Below is the kitchen floor. How much tiles in square feet should she, and I'm noticing a typo here. This is why it's good to reread your work, right, ladies and gentlemen? How much tiles in square feet should she get? How much tile in square feet should she get? Write an expression that shows the area of the figure. Now, we've talked about expressions, but I know it's been a while. An expression is like an equation, but it doesn't have a equal symbol. So with expressions, you're putting two numbers together and you're putting like a multiplication symbol or an addition or a subtraction, something in the middle that shows the relationship of those two numbers. So we have, this is the kitchen floor plan. So if you were to go to Lee's house, this is the way that her house looks. In the kitchen looks kind of like this shape, which is kind of an odd shape for a kitchen. Now we have this irregular figure, and we've talked about how to find the area. You can choose to create an array that represents that space, or you could choose to use multiplication to help you with finding the area. Now, first, and I know we talked about this in a previous video, we have this shape here, and before when we had a similar shape, it was already partitioned into simpler shapes that you can find the area of. This is not partitioned. This is an awkward looking shape. So to find the area first, we need to partition this shape into two separate easy shapes to find the area of. So let me get so to find the area of this, I'm going to grab my pen, and first I'm going to partition this. Now, I know that this side is 9, and I know this side is 3. So here's a clear rectangle, so I'm going to actually partition it right here. So this side is 9 by 3, and then down here, this 2 actually goes with this line. It doesn't go over here. If it went over here, then it would be closer to this side, and it's not. It's closest to this side. So this rectangle space is 2 by 3. Now that I have two defined like rectangles, those are much easier to work with to find the area. So I'm going to turn this rectangle over here into an array because I know that I could multiply, but I first want to show you again visually what you could do. And especially if you're not sure what the answer is to two numbers you're multiplying together, this might be maybe the best strategy for you. So I know this is 9, so this would be 9 rows of 3. So here's my 9 rows to the best that I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I'm going to double check. 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, 6 rows, 7 rows, 8 rows, 9 rows. Now 9 rows of 3. So I'm going to make this 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns. And I'm going to count it. 1 row, or 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns. Now, it's a little harder to count by 3s, but I'm going to do the best I can. But what you could choose to do is count by 3s and then count on from wherever you left off. So I have 3, 6. Ooh, okay, I'm going to do my crazy writing again. Brace yourself, ladies and gentlemen. 3, 6, 9, 12. This looks easier than what it is. It's not easy. 15. What comes after 15 when you're counting by threes? 18. What comes after 18 when you're counting by threes? 21. 24. And 27. So I know that the area of this space is 27, and they used feet. So I'm going to say square, because anytime we're talking about area, we're using the square because we're talking about how many squares fill up that space. And the units we're using is feet. Now we're going to now let's talk about the shortcut. We know that when we make an array too, that can represent multiplication. We have 9 rows of 3. And 9 rows of 3 is, or equals, is, let me write with my finger, 27. 9 rows of 3 is 27. Now we have, so that's the shortcut. If you don't want to make an array and you know what 9 times 3 is, then go straight to your multiplication fact and do that. But if you're not sure what 9 times 3 is, then your best option may be to make the array. Now we have this little space over here, and this would represent 3 rows of 2. So 1, 2, 3 rows. And notice how this space kind of matches up to this space. I did that on purpose. 3 rows of 2. Now what is 3 rows of 2? Well, let's count by 2. 2, because it's 1, 2, 4, 3, 4, 6, 5, 6. So this space over here represents 6 square, because we're talking about area, square feet. Now, shortcut. If we don't want to have to draw the squares here, then we could say, well, I know that 3 rows of 2 equals 6. Now, to find the area of this entire figure, I'm going to take my 6 square feet, and I'm going to take my 27 square feet and do what with it? Add it together. Okay, so I'm going to take 27 plus 6. Now, if I'm not sure what 27 plus 6 is, well, I mean, when you really think about it, you can just count on, right? 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So 33 square feet. So the area of the entire figure is 33 square feet. Now, and just to double check my standard algorithm, 7 ones plus 6 ones is 13 ones. I'm going to take 10 of that 13 and put it up here and leave those 3 ones in the ones place. Here's my ones place. And then 1 10 plus 2 tens is 3 tens. Now, we are supposed to write an expression that shows the area, that shows what we did. Now, we already have those pieces of it. So I'm going to kind of change this to maybe bright blue. And I'm going to write my expression at the very bottom of this. So my expression is, and I'm going to kind of put parentheses here. First, we did 9 times 3. So I'm going to write that here. 9 times 3. And those two factors go together. So that's where the parentheses come in mind. You're grouping them together. We did 9 times 3, and we added that to that other rectangle that we did. So here's where we got that first one, and here's our second part of our expression. I'm going to put parentheses because we're grouping those two numbers together. 3 times 2. And this is our expression. I'm not going to say equals because then that turns this expression into an equation. So there you go, boys and girls. You're going to be doing this today on Splash Learn, the same type of activity where you're going to be identifying what expressions matches the figure that you're given. Happy learning, third graders. And as always, your third grade teachers miss you, and we're here anytime you need us.